This past year, I have learned that I need to live in the moment and be appreciative for what I have, even if it's very different than what I expected.
You just have to learn to go with it. I think everyone had plans, everyone had ideas for what they were gonna do in the summer, in the spring, and I think even though we might not have been able to do what we planned, I know personally I've still had overall a really great time, and I've been able to do things that I never could have planned for that I still really enjoyed.
I need to focus on what's happening in the moment and not worry about the past or the future, and just appreciate what I have here and now, because that can change in an instant.
A reading by Zev Falk. All the vows on our lips, the burdens in our hearts, the pent-up regrets about which we brooded and spoke through prayers without end on Last Atonement Day, did not change our way of life, did not bring about deliverance in the year that has gone. From mountain peaks of fervor, we fell to common ways at the close of the fast. Will you hear our regret? Will you open our prison? Release us from shackles of habit. Will you accept our prayers, forgive our wrongs through sin again and again? In moments of weakness, we do not remember promises of Atonement Day. Recall that we easily forget, take only our heart's intent. Forgive us, pardon us, Zev Falk.
This past year has taught me that I tend to take a lot of things for granted. For example, when the coronavirus first came about in the US, I didn't consider how hard it would be for some families to afford food and other necessities without a steady paycheck.
One of the main things I've learned from my experiences over this year, mainly from quarantine and just being in a big event like a global pandemic, is just don't take things for granted. A lot of times I just took time spent with my friends for granted, and I wouldn't really cherish the moment as much as I wish I could have. And I know now every single time I'm with my friend, I should cherish it.
The experiences of the past year have taught me that I need to always be flexible. I've learned that I need to think critically about everything I see and learn. This helps me to understand and accept sudden changes, such as school shutting down or camp being canceled.
The biggest thing that this crazy year has taught me is the importance of flexibility. The idea of things can change really rapidly and really drastically, and that it's important to keep going, to kind of make the best of the situation and to adapt.
Over this past year, I've decided to let go of other people's opinions of me. While it's important what some people think, I don't need to care about what everybody thinks, and that will make me a happier person.
And over the past year, what have I let go of? Probably people that are like bad to have around, like fake people or like mean people.
Something I've kind of let go of is caring about what people think about me, and just kind of living my life how I want to, and not really worrying about what how my actions might affect or what they think of I should be doing.
Service to others is the rent we pay for the space we occupy. We will discover that by helping our neighbors, we are enriching ourselves. You know by the adage, what goes around comes around. Or as we read in the Bible, cast your bread upon the waters, and in the length of days it shall return to you.
Over the past year, I've learned that spending time with family and friends should never be taken for granted.
One thing I've learned from the experiences from this past year is to just stay connected, reach out, and just check up on your friends.
With everything that has happened in the past year, I will prioritize hanging out with friends and family in the future.
One thing I've decided to let go of, or at least I'm trying to let go of, is just like fear of failure, because I learned over just like being quarantined for so long that life is so short and there's just too much to do, and sitting around is really not going to get you anywhere. So don't be scared to just like do something. Don't be scared to start learning a new hobby or just to start a business if you want to. I learned that like if I don't do something out of fear, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. So I have to do it. So I'm trying, and obviously that's still really hard to learn and accept, but I'm really trying to let go of fear.
Kind of the importance of disappointment, but also the need for not dwelling on it. And again, there were many things I was looking forward to: hanging out with friends, finishing out my middle school time, and all sorts of other things that I was really looking forward to doing, and then it never happened. And I think it's normal to be sad, to be upset, to be disappointed at things, but it isn't good to dwell on those feelings. And I really think that, especially going into this new Jewish year, everyone can try and accept those feelings of disappointment and sadness, but look towards the future and really move on. And don't let something that you couldn't do in the past stop you from doing great things in the future.
I'm really going to start prioritizing going outside more and just spending more time with my friends and family. Over quarantine, I found a love for, I've always loved outside, but really appreciating nature more. And I really started to appreciate sunsets more than I ever have. So I'm going to start prioritizing going to see the sunset every time, taking pictures, just trying to really soak in the beautiful nature that we live with.
While I know my problems and my anxieties do matter, in this coming year, I will try to focus on the bigger picture and try to use my privilege to help others rather than focusing on superficial matters.